Hey everyone, my name's James, and in this video I'm going to tell you why merch sales have never mattered more than they do right now. It's a really crazy time to be in the music business. For starters, it's never been easier to share your music. It takes a couple of moments to upload a song, and within a few clicks you can have that song available on dozens of platforms all over the world. However, it's never been harder to make a living from that music. Most artists earn less than 0.6 of a cent per song stream. It takes hundreds of streams to make a quarter from a track, and it takes thousands or even tens of thousands to generate the same amount of revenue that artists could make from selling a single CD or vinyl of their record. The economics of recorded music are really frustrating. If you get a label deal, you might get a few more tenths of a cent per song stream, but in reality, most artists are seeing less money than ever from their music, which is why more and more are turning to merchandise to supplement their income. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You see, as the value of recorded music has declined in recent years, artists' reliance on tour revenue and merch revenue has risen. But there's a problem. There are more artists than ever competing for your attention, which means there are more tours than ever and more merchandise than ever before. Getting consumers to care about your band and your merchandise is next to impossible unless you have the business smarts that set you apart from your peers. But you don't have to take it from me. You don't have to take it from professionals in the industry who aren't artists on the road. There are bands that believe the same thing. If you look at the group While She Sleeps, they're a metalcore group out of the UK. They recently released a t-shirt that did nothing more than promote the fact that their merch sales matter than song streams. If you look right here, you can see the design the band created. And let me read to you what it says. One t-shirt is the equivalent to 5,000 streams on Spotify. 76% of all music in 2019 is streamed and not bought physically or digitally. Band merchandise is the most direct way of supporting an artist. While She Sleeps is saying it better than anyone could, and they've made that design available for any artist who wants to create similar merch. I think that it's really important that you understand the power your merchandise has, because in today's music business, generating revenue is going to attract more record labels, more managers, more booking agents, more publicists than any amount of song streams could, unless you have some runaway hit. If you have the #1 song on Spotify, you're clearly going to garner a lot of attention. But if you can walk into a meeting and say that you've sold 5,000 t-shirts in the last month for a group that most people are not that aware of, but you have these dedicated fans who support everything you do, that's going to make people want to work with you. Because we live in an age where people don't want to pay for music. So if they're paying for something related to your career, even if it's not the music itself, that has high value in this industry. And that's ultimately what you need to get the attention of those who can put you in positions for greater success. Now, every artist has merch, and I'm sure that you're no exception. You probably have CDs, maybe vinyl, sweatshirts and t-shirts, and maybe even some unique items like beanies, socks, water pistols. Whatever it is, I'm sure that you have some merch that you're really proud of. The question is, do you have the items that your audience ultimately wants? Because at the end of the day, what matters first and foremost in merchandising is that you're giving your audience what they want. And that comes from knowing your audience. Are you selling to high schoolers? Are you selling to people in college? Are you selling to young professionals? All three of those demographics want different things. And I'm not saying that you have to only sell to one of them. You can sell to all three, but you need to make sure that your merch reflects their interest and tastes. Second, you need to care about quality. Quality over quantity every day of the week. That's just no question. And I know not everyone has the kind of money to invest in really nice shirts, especially if you're a young artist who isn't at a point where paying for a huge stock of an item makes sense. But at the end of the day, your fans would rather have a comfortable shirt than a cheap t-shirt that they don't want to wear. You have to think about the merch for your band like the clothes that you would buy at a store. People are going to keep buying the products that make them feel good, that make them look good, and that are the most comfortable to wear. If you're printing the cheapest design you can afford on the cheapest shirt that is available, then you're probably not going to get the same kind of returns as an artist who spends a lot of time making the most beautiful, well-crafted merch that they can. And I know that it might come at an expense. You might have to save a little bit longer to afford the materials that you ultimately want to use, but it's a worthwhile investment. Because if your fans feel good in the clothes that they buy from you, they're going to buy more merchandise in the future, and they're going to tell their friends the same. Just like how if they like your song, they're going to tell people to listen to it. If they like the way your merch feels, when they bring a friend to your show, they're going to encourage them to buy merch because they'll tell them how much they love the thing that they bought from you last time. Every piece of merch you create is an investment in your future, not only through the branding that it creates when people wear it, but from the way you make people feel when they're in the clothes. It's just like your music, and you should treat it with just as much respect as you do the songs you create. Something else to keep in mind with merchandising is your price point. Now, obviously, you're going to want a high return for any piece of merch you create, but there's a lot of value in giving people something at a price they can afford, especially if you're going to go above and beyond their expectations. For young artists, most people are assuming that you're going to print on a very cheap fabric. So if you can afford something better, but keep the price in line with people who use cheaper fabrics, you're going to get a higher return of customers because, again, they're going to like what they're getting and they're going to feel like there's value to it. So they're going to want to buy more of it to wear it more often. If you're buying cheaper products, don't be afraid to undersell the competition if you're able to. If you can print all of your shirts at $5 a piece, you don't necessarily have to sell at $20. Obviously, that $15 return would be great, but maybe you go a little bit lower so that people feel encouraged to, again, buy more merchandise in the future. And when you're able to raise the quality of the fabric, raise your prices in line with that. It's just a matter of what gives the greatest value proposition to your consumers, because ultimately, they're the ones who are going to decide the fate of your career. So you want to make them feel like they're getting the most value for their money possible. A good way to take advantage of having all these pieces in line, your pricing, your fans' wants, and the quality of the product, is by creating merch drops. Merch drops are these randomly timed releases of limited edition merchandise printed on high quality fabric, usually with higher prices than normal merch. A band that does this really well is Fearless Records group Grayscale. Every few months, the band releases a few limited edition items, usually with a theme, on their web store, and fans cannot wait to get their hands on this stuff. The band generates more from a single merch drop than they do in an entire month of sales online otherwise, and the way that they do this is by creating a lot of buzz around the drop itself. As you can see from some of the pictures up here, they create these images for their merch that looks like something you'd see in an ad for The Gap or for H&M. It looks very high quality, it looks polished, and it looks like something you're going to want to get your hands on because it just feels special. If you can do that around your own merchandise, and especially with limited edition items, fans are going to throw their money at you. They're going to want to be a part of this exclusive club because if they can go to a concert filled with all of your other fans wearing an item of merch that most of them were unable to get their hands on, they're going to feel special. And if you can make someone feel special, they're going to become a repeat customer that continues to support you for years to come. All right, now I need you to do me a favor. Click the subscribe button down below. We just crossed 200 subscribers on the channel and I really want you to be a part of this community. We're creating a ton of videos 3 to 5 times a week and we want you to be a part of everything we do. So please, click that button. I also want you to check out our sponsor. Haulix is the industry standard for music promotion. Chance the Rapper, Metallica, Tool, Blink-182, and thousands more use Haulix every day to promote their music, and you should as well. Go to Haulix.com today and start a free trial. It's HAULIX.com. And if you like this video, if you hate this video, if you think I look good or bad, or you just want to say something, please leave it in the comments below. We read everything and we want to engage with you. And if you do all those things, or if you don't feel like doing any of those things, then at least take care of yourself because you deserve it.